Hi everyone, this is Miss Lair. We are doing lesson 2.1.4. All of our vocab words are actually in our very first problem, so we're going to do that first. Number 36. Equations for linear patterns can be written in this form here, which we know and love. X and Y represent variables. When you wrote equations relating the figure number to the number of tiles, what did X represent? What did Y represent? So X in that case was our figure number, and Y was our total. So variables, we will almost always use X and Y, and they are our inputs and our outputs. M and B are parameters. They do not change within the situation of a given linear pattern. So that means when we had an equation like y equals 2x plus 1, 2 and 1 are the parameters because they're not going to change no matter what input or output we use.
Since it multiplies the variable x.
What do M and B represent in a linear pattern like the tile patterns? So M was what we figured out was the growth of the tile. So how many tiles were added for each figure? B was the tiles in figure 0. So how many we originally started with. What effect does M have on the graph of the line? So this is what we talked about yesterday. So if our M gets bigger, that means our line is steeper. So M affects the steepness. And what effect does B have? And again, we're talking about a graph. So it is our starting point of our tile pattern. So B is the start point. And whenever we're talking about a graph's start point, that is always the y-intercept. So let's go back here and label M is our growth. Or now we have our math word of slope. And B is the start, which we know is the y-intercept. All right, 37. Take a second to read the scenario so you know what our end goal is. Okay, so the main thing is we're talking about one specific line, one and only one line. So we're going to use our e-tool for this. All right, so here we are in our e-tool. And our very first one says line A goes through the point 2, 5. So I'm just going to focus on the green right now. So I'm going to get this purple out of my way. Let's just do that. So I'm going to put this point on 2 and then up 5. And now this point, it didn't tell me where it could go. So that means I can't pick one specific line, which means the directions tell me I need to come up with 2 lines for my customer. So you can put this point anywhere. I'm going to pick 0, 0. And if I add a little box here, I'll show you what my equation would be for A. And I'm just going to move it down here so we know what it is. So my first equation for A, well, my starting point is 0, which makes my B value really easy. So I know that there's going to be a plus 0 at the end. But I need the slope as well. So if I take a look at my slope triangle, I'm going to draw a line right up here and then straight across here. My rise is up 5. My run is 2. So That means my slope is 5 divided by 2, and then make sure it's got that x after it. And now let's go ahead and add another one since it asks for another one. You can put this point anywhere. It does not matter, so I'll let you do that one on your own. Okay, next we're going to do part D. So I'm going to expand what part D says, and I see that it's given me a table, but I need to see the y value. So all I got to do is click this circle next to the y, and then here's my table. So let's put this green point on this very first nice one, which is 2 and 1. So move this to 2, let's move that to 1. Next, I'm going to move my other green point to 4, 6. So 4 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, we're ignoring the purple line. We don't need that. Now, is there any other way that I can make these 2 points into a line? Absolutely not. So all we need to do is write the one equation that fits this. So I'm going to draw in my slope triangle. And I'm going to write my equation here. Y equals, and our rise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And our run, oh, look at that. Our run is 2 again. That is just by chance. Now, what is our starting point? Well, our starting point is whatever our y-intercept is. And then I can click on this spot and it'll tell me exactly -4. So instead of a plus, I'm going to write a -4. And then there is an equation for part D. Now you're going to try the other ones on your own.